Welcome to the weekly recap. And so we're here to recap the week of the DyNasty Fantasy League. And Pepper, I see you've had some issues this week, mainly Michael Thomas going down, high ankle sprain.
Oh my God! Rub it in, why don't you?
Most safe, consistent pick in the history of fantasy football.
And absolutely. Show me his true colors in week 1. Oh my God! I've had quite the week of my safe and consistent pick players doing just oh so wonderful. Just Joe Mixon, running for 60 yards and doing nothing else. Michael Thomas doing nothing and getting hurt. Marvin Jones just kind of existing.
Yep.
Devontae Adams.
Top fantasy prospects.
Devontae Adams, 41.5 points. To be fair, Devontae Adams is good, but Aaron Rodgers was having a field day with the Vikings defense. Oh my God!
Starting to become a lot less scared of that defense. To be perfectly honest.
Absolutely, that's it. They've got an offense to go with it. How many points did Thielen have against me this last week? 32 and a half. What was the final score? 43-36. That was oh my God, that was a monster of a game. Defenses might as well have not even shown up.
Yeah, you had
and then I had MVS on my bench, nice and pretty, because I was like, hey, I've got Michael Thomas just hanging out, being really, really good.
Yeah,
give me so many points.
You would have been crazy. You would have been crazy to start MVS over someone like Michael Thomas.
Oh, of course.
But while as terrible as your matchup was, you didn't actually have the biggest blowout. That honor belongs to Rocco and Keely, the two cousins going at each other. And Rocco dominated Keely with what I think was the league's lowest score
and the league's highest
last season, and the league's highest. And it's a margin of 128.9%. It doesn't get worse than that.
It's tragic. The difference in their score was more than Keely scored. That's borderline impressive. On both ends.
That's true. That's truly, truly incredible. I didn't even notice that.
It really just kind of makes you wonder. You got to kind of go back and check out what Keely was doing there.
Yeah. Oh, for
How
sure.
did this happen?
Let's look at her team. So in week 1, Keely went and she started Dak Prescott, Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz was probably a big issue for her. Nick Chubb did not have a good week. Leonard Fournette, new team, pretty much non-existent. Ronald Jones got pretty much all the carries there. Yeah. Cooper Kupp, it was like they didn't even see Cooper Kupp. Robert Woods was just the only guy on the field that night. He just kept feeding him the ball. George Kittle down with an injury. That's big.
Yeah,
he's going to have to end up finding another tight end.
I say he had a decent game before then, but down early. And Odell Beckham Jr., and that's, the Browns' offense was just not a very good play in week 1. They had a rough go of things.
No. Looking at this, and she had Courtland Sutton who was out. She had a total of 2 players other than her quarterback that broke 10 points, which is that's just atrocious. That is so terrible. Meanwhile, on the other side of the field,
to try, but fantasy is a fickle bitch.
Fickle bitch. And on the other side of the field, we've got Ryan just putting up loads of numbers with Mitch Trubisky. Who saw that coming?
Oh my God! Seriously.
Josh Jacobs and Julio Jones, the 2 J's, and Devontae Adams just coming out to seal the deal. The rest of his team besides that wasn't overly
too hot.
impressive. pretty around average, I'd say.
I mean, you had Buda Baker on defense putting up, 17.5 points. That's a solid game there. I mean, making up for some of these other
IDP
guys.
start.
But yeah, I mean, 3 points from Mark Ingram,
honestly,
8 from Hurst.
Honestly, he could have won this game with Jacobs, Cook, Trubisky, and Jones and Adams.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, that's all he really needed.
Those 5 guys alone still would have beat Keeley by about 30 points. So,
yeah, I mean, the real question is, can Rocco ride the momentum into week 2? What's week 2 look like?
We'll see. He's going to definitely get paid out for this week. He'll get that case of Guinness that he classically buys with all of his winnings every week.
I mean,
he did really well.
Can I just say there? I mean, that's a class act to do with your winnings. Case of Guinness from fantasy football winnings that's like peanut butter and jelly. That's just the way it goes.
Yeah, well, there was that one matchup last year where he thought he won, and then the stat correction screwed him.
Oh.
So he had already bought in his case and had to give the money back over to Rich. So that was pretty great. Let's look at we had some trades this past week. Some turned out pretty well. Others not so great. If I remember correctly, I traded Malcolm Brown and Ozigbo for Chris Thompson. While Ozigbo, not that great. Malcolm Brown looks like he's going to lead that backfield of the Rams for a little bit. He scored 2 touchdown drives on that first 2 possessions of the Rams, and Chris Thompson just shat the bed, man. They didn't even put him out there. They seem to really love that new rookie down there in Jacksonville after they got rid of Fournette. I put my eggs in the wrong basket there. But meanwhile, on another trade, I definitely put my eggs in the right basket getting Jonathan Taylor when all of a sudden now Marlon Mack's down, which really sucks for Boomer, who's probably relying on him this season.
Mm-hmm.
After that trade last year where I traded Marlon Mack away for Phillip Lindsay. I was regretting that trade last year, but this year, looking back, I'm pretty happy with it. It's got to suck getting a starting running back injured within the first 2 quarters of the season.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's
but not as much as Michael Thomas.
Oh, God. Twist the knife while it's in there, Nick. Twist the knife. God damn it. Oh, that's just tragic. It's several weeks. Oh, my God.
Several weeks.
Safest pick in fantasy.
And so the narrowest victory goes to Rich over Scott, Mr. Mojerson over Darth Deadpool, and that was by less than 4 points. And Scott also got the title of worst manager in the league. So
yeah, he had a very impressive bench.
Yeah, he definitely could have won that game. Looking over his roster, there's some start decisions I'm not
quite understanding
with. But overall though, he did start who I would expect. But after trading for Nageem Hines, he did not start him.
At 28.5 points down the drain.
He rode the bench. Phillip Rivers' favorite dump-off option.
Exactly, right? But I mean, why play Kareem Hines when you can do carry on? What's the last name? All right, so why do him when you can do carry on Johnson with 1.5 points of fortitude coming through there?
Do you have Kareem Hunt on his bench as well? That's just impressive.
Yeah,
impressive.
I have a feeling Scott might be the target of several trades going in after this week, but we'll see how responsive he seems to be to those.
Yeah, he does have.
That's the thing. Like,
bench. And speaking of,
he did lose by 4 points, and he got the worst manager one. But I mean, the worst when the worst manager award only comes because so many of the players that you have on your team are excellent. It's really hard to play that line of being which one will be the most exceptional. There's a few clear cases where he picked the wrong guy, but his team still put up strong numbers, 185 points versus 189. That's a good game on both sides. Scott's bench was just on fire in week 1. I mean, I'm going
massively.
through his bench, and it's looking like the majority of the people on his bench, just period, are into the double digits.
Yeah, especially
maybe about
good old
half, but
Sammy
still,
Watkins,
that's
who just loves to put up numbers week one and then maybe not the rest of the season. But speaking of trades, Scott may get some trade offers here, but it sounds like you've got a trade offer on your plate.
that I do.
What's the offer we're talking?
All right, so we've got Tim Mazing, the man, the myth, the legend himself, Bengals fan 101. He is looking to trade. He's looking to do a Tennessee sweep from me. I've got A.J. Brown and Jonnu Smith, and he wants both of them for Zach Ertz and Amari Cooper. But he also wants my 2021 first-round draft pick.
Ooh, that's a pretty tight trade.
And I say it does seem fairly balanced, and it makes you just wonder, like, why is Tim loving on the Tennessee team so much? Why is he trying to stock up there? Why does he want both?
Yeah, especially after last night's game.
I said they were not very on fire last night. Jonnu Smith had he had a touchdown. He did pretty good, but overall, Titans did not do super well fantasy wise. At least A.J. Brown and Jonnu Smith did okay, but that was loud.
Yeah, I understand. I understand wanting to get rid of Ertz. Trying to sell while the going's still good. Some people are really afraid right now of his potential, given the contract situation and how poorly his week one went with Dallas Goedert getting all the catches.
Mm-hmm.
Amari Cooper, though, is still a really big piece. He didn't have a great week one.
He's a formidable player to trade on his own.
Yeah, and he's the $100 million man. They're going to feed him the ball, right? And Dallas is projected to be a really great passing offense. They got Dak there just slinging it around, CeeDee Lamb and Gallup also drawing some coverage. And
man. Got to get ready to suck some Dak when he's throwing the ball.
Yeah, and Amari didn't have a great week one, but he was also matched up against Jalen Ramsey, who's one of the best cornerbacks in the league for most of that game. He was getting shadowed by him. So
yes, I
wouldn't be surprised if he has much better games in the future.
That would not shock me at all. He's a good enough player. But yes, I
so
also
what's preventing you from
knew
hitting
who
accept on that trade? Well, I think I actually had who was covering him as one of my IDP players for a bit.
Oh, there you go.
So, what's keeping you held up on the trade? Why not hit and accept?
Oh, just trying to sort through any mind games that might be existing there. What does Tim know that I don't? What does he know about the Titans? Just trying to think through. Why does he want both of my Titans players? Why not just one? Hey, A.J. Brown, really good player also by himself. Jonnu Smith, player. Also good. I mean, I haven't looked
very
too
young.
Deeply.
DyNasty League, young receiver, right?
I say I don't know. I haven't looked too deeply at Tim's tight end roster. I don't know if he's just lacking in viable options to play multiple times, but he's also got Corey Davis from the Titans. I don't know why he's trying to stock up on them so much. Maybe he's switching from a Bengals fan to a Titans fan. Maybe he's just playing where the heart is.
Oh, that's rough. I'm sure Tim wouldn't appreciate that, but
yes, but Tim isn't here, huh?
He isn't. But
maybe once he watches this, he'll take away the trade offer.
Maybe he might.
That's why I got to accept.
So we might want to consider putting this out after you decide what to do with this trade offer, because one bad thing I see, if he's already got Corey Davis, he's limiting his upside getting 3 Titans. If he goes to try to start all 3 of those guys one day, it's all dependent upon how well the Titans do. All of a sudden, you're putting your eggs in one basket.
Exactly, and that's 3 Titans who rely on getting the ball passed to them. It's not even a running back in that group. So that's all about however Tyrod Taylor decides to do that day.
Except Tyrod Taylor is the quarterback for the Chargers. But you mean Ryan Tannehill.
Ryan Tannehill. There we go. I forgot that he was still in the NFL. That's how good Ryan Tannehill is.
All right. Well, I guess the league will see shortly whether or not you decide to go on that trade. we're going to try to do one of these recaps every week just to go over how shitty this league is and get people more involved.